Okay, next question is question number 39. Sine inverse tangent 5 over 4, 5 pi over 4. Okay, we need to find the value of tangent 5 pi over 4. Tangent 5 pi over 4 is 1, 5, because 5 pi over 4 is in third quadrant. This is 1, so it's like finding sine inverse 1, set up k. Switch x and y to go back to the original sine function. So sine angle k is 1, and k is pi over 2, because k should be between negative pi over 2 and pi over 2. 40. Cosine inverse tangent 3 pi over 4. Yes, we need to find the value of tangent 3 pi over 4. Tangent 3 pi over 4 is negative 1. So it's like finding cosine inverse negative 1. Set up k, switch x and y to go back to original cosine function. So cosine angle k is negative 1. Range of cosine inverse is between 0 and pi, right? So k equals pi because cosine pi is negative 1. Pi is answer. Next, 41. Tangent arc sine inverse. Tangent arc sine 0, arc sine 0. This is inverse expression, so set up k for inverse. Tangent sine inverse 0. You set up k for inverse function, inverse expression. So sine inverse 0 equals k, switch x and y, sine k equals 0. What's k? K is 0, because sine 0 is 0. Because k is 0, it's like finding tangent to k, which is tangent to 0. Tangent to 0 is 0. Next, 42. Cosine arctangent negative 1. This is inverse expression, set up k for that. So cosine inverse tangent negative 1. This is inverse expression, set up k for that. So tangent inverse negative 1 equals k, which means tangent k equals negative 1. The range of tangent inverse is between negative pi over 2 and pi over 2. So which angle k satisfies this equation? Negative pi over 4. So k equals negative pi over 4. So plug in negative pi over 4 for this k. So cosine negative pi over 4. Cosine negative pi over 4 is same as cosine pi over 4, which is root 2 over 2. Next, 43. Sine arctangent 1. Arctangent is inverse expression, so set up k for that. Sine tangent inverse 1. That one is equal to k, right? So tangent k equals 1. Switch x and y. So k should be equal to pi over 4 because range of tangent inverse is between negative pi over 2 and pi over 2. Only pi over 4 can satisfy this equation. Do not use Q3. So pi over 4 is the value of k. Plug in pi over 4 for this. So what is sine k, which is pi over 4? Square root of 2 over 2. That's answer. 44. Sine tangent inverse negative 1. So that one is k. Sine tangent inverse negative 1. Set up k for that. Switch x and y. Tangent k equals negative 1. What is k? K should be negative pi over 4. Negative pi over 4. Not 3 pi over 4 because we cannot use second quadrant. K should be in fourth quadrant as negative angle. So K is negative pi over 4, which means sine negative pi over 4. Sine negative pi over 4 is equal to negative sine pi over 4 because sine is odd function. Sine is odd function. This is odd function. So what is pi over 4? Root 2 over 2. So answer is negative square root of 2 over 2. All right. And then 45. Let me erase this part. 45. Arcsine, cosine negative pi over 6. Yeah, we should find this value first. Cosine negative pi over 6. Cosine negative pi over 6 is equal to cosine pi over 6 because cosine is even function. This is even function rule. Even function rule is this. Cosine negative theta is equal to cosine theta. Secant negative theta is equal to secant theta. Out of 6 trigonometric functions, only these two functions, cosine and secant, are even functions. So we can just find the value of cosine pi over 6, which is square root of 3 over 2. So it's like finding arcsine square root of 3 over 2, arcsine square root of 3 over 2 equals k. Switch x and y. So sine k is equal to square root of 3 over 2. K should be between negative pi over 2 and pi over 2 because range of sine inverse is between negative pi over 2 and pi over 2. So K should be first quadrant angle. Which angle K can satisfy this equation? Sine K equals root 3 over 2. This is a unicircle, so K is 30 degree. No, 60 degree. Pi over 3. Pi over 3. 46. Arc cosine sine negative pi over 6. We need to find the value of that one. Sine negative pi over 6 is equal to negative sine pi over 6. Sine pi over 6 is 1/2. And then put negative, so negative 1/2. This value is negative 1/2. We are finding arc cosine negative 1/2. Cosine inverse negative 1/2 equals k. Switch x and y. So cosine k equals negative 1 over 2. K should be between 0 and pi because range of cosine inverse is between 0 and pi inclusive. So which angle K can satisfy this equation, which is cosine K equals negative 1/2. K should be in second quadrant, right? Second quadrant. So K is 2 pi over 3, 120 degree. That's the answer. All right. Let's try question number 47. Find the exact value of the expression. All right. This is a little bit different kind of question about composition. Number 47, sine arctangent, which is tangent inverse, 4 over 3. All right, this is inverse expression. Every time there is inverse expression, we need to use k. We can substitute k for tangent inverse 4 over 3. So let me rewrite this one here. Tangent inverse 4 over 3 equals k. Switch x and y to go back to tangent, not tangent inverses. Tangent angle k is 4 over 3. Okay. This is tangent inverse question, so angle should be between negative pi over 2 and pi over 2 this way, because range of tangent inverse is between negative pi over 2 and pi over 2. Do not use Q2 or Q3. And tangent is positive, so we should use first quadrant. Make a right triangle in first quadrant. Angle K is here, which is an angle in first quadrant. Do not use Q4 because in Q4 tangent is negative. But what we have is 4 over 3, which is a positive number. All right, and then use the ratio of tangent K, 4 over 3, opposite over adjacent. So according to the Pythagorean theorem, length of hypotenuse should be 5. Okay, and we are looking for sine tangent inverse 4 over 3. We already substitute K for tangent inverse 4 over 3. So this expression is equal to sine K, right? Look at this right triangle in first quadrant. Sine K is opposite over hypotenuse, 4 over 5. So 4 over 5 is answer. Let's try one more question. 48. Secant arcsine, which is sine inverse, 3 over 5. This is inverse expression, so set up K. Sine inverse 3 over 5 is equal to K. Switch X and Y, so sine K is equal to 3 over 5. All right, let's make right triangle in the right quadrant. Do not use Q2 or Q3 because this is sine inverse question. K, the angle should be between negative pi over 2 and pi over 2. Yes, but sine is positive in this equation, right? So we need to choose first quadrant, not Q4, because in Q4, sine is negative. What we have is positive 3 over 5. So K is in first quadrant. And this is right triangle. And then sine K is opposite over hypotenuse, 3 over 5. So the other leg should be 4. Okay? And we are looking for secant sine inverse 3 over 5. We already substitute K for sine inverse 3 over 5. So it's like finding secant K. What is secant K? Secant K is reciprocal of cosine. Cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse, which is 4 over 5. So secant is 5 over 4.